What up, what up? Wanted to hop on here really quickly because one thing I've noticed, we had a few new guys starting here in the office and they're booking appointments, but they're not quality appointments. So I want to go over the SOP for properly booking appointments. And I got my notes pulled up here because we're going off of the exact appointment booking SOP that you can find in one of the side tabs on our main script, the aged mortgage protection script. So number one is always go for the one call close. The mindset you need to have behind appointments is you need to look at appointments like bonus points, where they're cool, but don't count on them. So if it's 10:45 and I have an appointment at 11 o'clock, the worst thing I could do is sit there twiddling my thumbs or scrolling through Instagram, wasting 15 minutes to call my 11 o'clock just for them to no-show me. So only book if it's a worst case scenario. And number one, and this was the first thing I learned in sales, if they're busy, you're busier. So you always want to play the busy game. Perfect, John. Hit them with, go for the one call close. If they give pushback, push again. Hey, I'm working. Can you call me later? Well, John, I'm looking at this here. It looks like we've tried reaching out to you. And I'd see a few notes here in your file. Listen, this will only take about 5-10 minutes to get this taken care of. Do you have about 5-10 minutes to go over the options, John? And if he really says, no, I'm just walking into a meeting, I got to let you go. Perfect. I typically run by appointment only anyways. John, do you work a typical 9 to 5 or do the work hours vary? What are we doing there? That leads me to segment number 2. All right. Always clear their schedule first before throwing out times. Because if I say I got a 4 or a 5:30 and John says, listen, I don't even get home till 6, 7 o'clock. All right, I just lost the power, lost my control. Okay? This is what you never ask them. Never ask them, when are you available? Or when would be a good time for me to call you? The answer is never. Always busy. It's always the worst time, especially retired people. Retired people are the busiest. It drives me crazy. So if they're working, hey, gotcha, John, do you work a typical 9 to 5? Do the work hours vary? If they're retired, gotcha, John, do you have any doctor's appointments, any lunches with the grandkids, anything like that going on tomorrow? So figure out exactly when they're going to be home and then throw out those times. So if John says, listen, I don't get home till about 6, 7 o'clock at night, and say, gotcha, I don't have either of those times available. It looks like the earliest I could do would be about a 7:30. Any reason you would not be available to speak around that time? Okay? Always, you need to maintain the control and you need to maintain the right posture. You're the expert. They're the professional. If you walk into the doctor's office, they don't say, when do you want to come in? No, they throw out times like, hey, he can see you at this time. Same thing here. So throughout the specific times you can see them. And then always ask them, any reason you would not be able to speak at that time? Just be like, actually, I got to drop my daughter off at soccer practice, so it's going to be closer to 8 o'clock. Tomorrow. Okay. Here's what I'll do, John. I'm actually fully booked up for the rest of the evening, but what I'll do is I'll move my 8 o'clock appointment. They're long-term clients of mine. So I'll move that 8 o'clock slot up for you and I'll squeeze you in that 8 p.m. Would that work for you? And it sounds like you're doing them a favor. So always maintain that busy posture where, especially if they're like, listen, we got this. Be like, listen, yeah, I get it. Dude, they got me seeing about 10 to 12. They got me talking about 10 to 12 families a day, which is true. We talk to a lot of people. They listen, we're really behind. We're just getting onto your file. Let me see. The earliest I could squeeze you in here, it looks like I could do, and you're kind of, and I'll be staring at a blank count. I don't care. But, maintain that busy posture because people want to work with people that are busy. Me and Claudia, we went to a restaurant not too long ago, and we were the only ones eating there. And it was weird. And I will never go back to that restaurant. I want to eat at the restaurant that's packed, that you got to book months in advance, that everybody wants to eat at. That's the type of mentality you need to have when you're on the phones. Okay? And then tie downs. Number one, any reason you would not be able to speak at that time? Perfect. I'll put you down for that. How do you typically keep track of your appointments? Google Calendar, physical calendar, write it down. Make sure they do some sort of action to put in it, maybe set an alarm. Whatever you got to do, Google calendar, write it down, set an alarm. Those are your 4 options. Okay. Perfect. Let me know when you have your calendar pulled up. Put them in their calendar. Put it down for that. And then I just ask them and say, again, John, I mean, any reason, and you don't want to be too aggressive with it. Because if I say, all right, John, again, any reason you would not be able to speak at that time, you can sometimes lose them. It's like, gotcha, John, and I got to ask, listen, any reason you would not be able to speak at that time? No, that'll work. Okay, perfect. The reason I ask is because I have a full day of helping families, and when someone misses their appointment, it really messes up my schedule. But other than that, perfect. I got you down for 8 o'clock tonight, so I look forward to helping and serving you then. And then a good rule of thumb too, do not book your appointments any further than 24 hours out. Because if you book it further than that, they're extremely likely to no-show. And then I want to add one more point as well, and then we'll end this training. But because I'm going on a tangent here, but it's important. Never prejudge your appointments. I got a call from an agent yesterday, and by the way, yesterday was Tuesday, and he said, "Hey, so I've got an appointment with this guy. He's this old. What should I write him?" I'm like, "Well, what's this all? I'm like, "When's the appointment with the guy?" He's like, "Friday." I'm like, "Dude, why are you thinking about an appointment you have Friday, trying to figure out what you're going to write him when you don't even know he's going to? I would rather lie down in the middle of the interstate than think like you just need to lock in and dial and don't overthink it." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he gets a sale right after that. And so, never prejudge your appointments. Don't put too much faith in them, but make sure the appointments you do book are properly tied down. But for the most part, your mindset and your mentality needs to be focused on one call closing. Because going back to what we said at the beginning of the call, if I got an 11 o'clock and I'm dialing in those 15 minutes, booking up, getting more appointments. And last thing, and we'll wrap this up. Always love the ones you're with. Because if I get somebody on the phone and it is 10:58 and I got an appointment in 2 minutes, I am going to one call close that individual. I don't care if I have to spend 2 hours on the phone with them and call the 11 o'clock 2 hours late. Love the ones you're with, tie it down, do the best you can, and then move on to the next person. So, hope this was helpful. If you took value from this, like, subscribe, and share with somebody else that needs to hear this message on how to properly book an appointment. God bless.